We're all good.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the RTA Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. Roll call, please.
All right. Mayor Biassiata.
Here.
Ms. Elder.
Here.
Mayor Kumar.
Here.
Mr. Love.
Here.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Here.
Ms. Pachetti.
Here.
Mr. Sleesman.
Here.
Mayor Weiss.
Here.
And Ms. Welch.
Here.
We have 9 board members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Item number 3, certification regarding notice of meeting.
Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, we have 2 items to dispense with, approval of minutes. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 19th, 2024 board meeting. Is there a second?
Second Welch.
Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. I'd also like to make a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2024 minutes for the special board meeting. Is there a second?
Second Welch.
Any comment on those minutes? Okay, if not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved as well. Item number 5, we have public comment for agenda and non-agenda items. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to go to the podium and make a comment? Yes, sir. And when you're up there, if you could please state your name and city of residence. Doc, I don't know if you could assist.
Okay, my name is Kevin Hinkle. I'm a resident of Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a longtime transit person, and I came up with the idea about a possible transit museum in the Tower City location. I feel it would be a good asset for the residents who knows about the history of the transit. I brought a couple relics around that you're welcome to take a look at. The museum would be a good location. Tower City, we can have a lot of memorabilia. Bus model, rail models and stuff, all kind of photos, like even with maps, with old bus stops. I think it would be very interesting if we could look into that. And I feel that the empty music store at Chelsea would be a perfect location for it. So if you want to get a hold of me, I'll leave my name and address. I'll even look into it. I'll even volunteer and be happy to donate these models to the museum.
Yeah, and before the meeting, I had a chance to look at some of the models. They're very interesting, so I appreciate your
Right over
idea.
here, take a look at it.
Yeah, if you could, who do you want to leave the name with you?
Yeah.
Name and address?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Myself or Don, either one.
Great. Anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? Okay. Teresa, do we have anyone on the phone?
Back, do we have anybody on the phone?
We have one caller. Caller 0387, you may go ahead.
This is Eric Stewart. Today I called your 6219-500 customer service line. I had 2 questions that I wanted to get posed. I called at approximately 8:08. I was not able to get into a customer service person. There was music played. I hit the prompt for the wanting to participate in the survey. I couldn't even get into a representative. I called back at 8:10. It was the same exact thing. I called back at 8:53, and I spoke to Yvette. I posed my 2 questions about the blue line and the 14. She did answer the questions. I waited to get in touch with the survey. I was on hold for approximately 3 more minutes, and the call disconnected. That is the 35th time I've gone through all the prompts to get to the survey in over 13 months. And I was disconnected and not given access to the survey. This is another example of this fraud that you perpetrate about wanting the public to be a participant in the healthy pursuit of public transit. In addition to that, I also said the last time that I was able to participate in the Board of Trustees meeting, which was October 29th, I think, that most of my comments aren't getting into the note. I go back and look, most of my comments aren't there. Well, I sent 3 emails. 1 email got in, and the other 2 still haven't been used. Neither have they been addressed directly. This is continuous. I want all three of my emails that were sent to be made part of public records. In addition to that, I want you to post the exact responsibilities of the Community Advisory Committee as a part of the note. And I also want you to address why I have not gotten any response from that Community Advisory Committee and put it in line with their responsibilities. So it is clear that they have responsibilities, but they aren't responding.
Mr.
So
Stewart,
this is all
thank you
needs
very
to be
much for your
noted.
comments. Your time is up. We're going to move on to the next caller.
time's up.
One comment on the survey. The survey, the way you're using it, it's not intended to be used in that fashion. I believe the CEO General Manager has explained that to you, that I think this is a random survey. Okay, so this is not something you can automatically access. And so the reason you've had some success in the past is you might have randomly been selected. We've taken your comments under that. Management's going to look at that. But right now, the survey is functioning as it was designed to function. Relative to your comments on the minutes, we'll take a look at that. Thank you very much for your time today. Do we have any other callers on the line?
No, there are no other calls.
Anyone on the web?
Yes, we have two web comments. The first one is from Isaac Shimsky Augusta. And just to summarize, he wanted to express support for the bus shelters on West 25th Street in Ohio City, and he hopes that we plan to install maximum amount of those bus lanes in Ohio City. The second one is Lisa Buffo of Cleveland. I saw reporting that the Cleveland Clinic is looking to build a $100 million parking garage. I'm a Cleveland resident who recently attended a local transit advocacy meeting where a thorough proposal was put forth regarding adding 2 miles to the Blue Line from Shaker Square to the Clinic University Circle. I am curious if this is something RTA has studied or would consider looking into, and if there is any communication with the clinic to contribute those dollars towards transit versus a garage. End of comment.
Great. We will have management take that under advisement.
To the chair, one more just came in.
Sure.
Sorry about that. From Chris Martin of Cleveland. I remain eager to hear from the board on the subject of what their plan is to close the operator shortage, expand service in compliance with the strategic plan, and avoid the agency's looming fiscal cliff. End of comment.
Great. And I think later on in our committee session, Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition, Ida Marshall, is going to provide us an update with the hiring. And as it has been earlier this year, I'm sure it's going to be great news. So not to set the table there, but we'll wait to see what she has in store for us there. Any other comments on the web?
No other comments.
Great. And we may have one last in-person comment, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
At this time of December is really the time to celebrate. I think overall this year, GCRTA has started and also put lots of the things on track. And the project already started. They are pretty good. But I would like to remind the board and all the staff from this year's observation. It seems like the training program we set for our operators still needs to be strengthened. Because at this moment, we still cannot avoid the higher turnover. Even we do have lots of good operators, but we have seen them getting older, retired. So if we do not make our training program solid, we would not have the next generation of operator will behave and really devoted to the service, just like the ones retiring. Lots of the details could be discussed in the future quickly. However, one thing we should know, due to this weather changing, in general, anything using electricity will not be super good, super active as during warm weathers. So the situation on our real-time departure, that particular feature, we can still see something lacking. That means certain spots the Wi-Fi are not working for GCRTA. So GCRTA cannot collect the true real-time information for the operators and the riders. So I hope we can do something about this and improve for the future. And do appreciate the CAC ADA subcommittees received paratransit focus group reports from the organization Noble. And I wish very soon in the new year, Mr. Davidson will also present this to our committees, so the board member will have the chance to hear that for, the first experience.
Well, thank you
If
so
you
much.
have questions, please ask during that presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. GCRTA, go, go, go.
Great. We're going to move on to Board Governance Committee reports. Do we have anything under the committees?
To the chair, we have a COC meeting tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock, thank you, Doc. So the public is welcome to tune into that or attend, so.
Great. Any other reports in the last meeting? Great. We're going to move on then to item 14, the highlight of our meeting, introduction of new employees and announcements of promotion. Welcome, Ida.
Thank you. Good morning, Board President Kumar, General Manager, CEO, India Birdsong Terry, and the entire board. My name is Ida Marshall, representing the Talent Acquisition Department, and I am going to list off all of our new hires to round off 2024, and then give a couple recaps, if I may. We're going to always start out with the heartbeat of our organization. Those are our operators, and we're going to start off with Monique Smith-Sims, Wilson Jackson, Cecil Moore, Sanford Rivers, Rita Henderson, Brandon Wheeler, Aisha Mayfield, Robert Milborn, and Lorraine Teal. Continuing on is Tasha Crafton, Jasmine DeForest, Lorenzo Burns, James Perdue, who is rejoining the organization, so happy to see him back, Deandra Smith-Caffey, Julius Gale Wilkinson, Marvin Loper, Letitia Bowen. And then moving into paratransit, we have Sharday Fullerton Peak as a paratransit reservationist. Yashida Taylor, also paratransit reservation. And moving into our operations is Marvin Simmons as a laborer, Latoya Gamble, laborer, Dwayne Drew, laborer, Youssef Mustafa, laborer, Kevin Cleary, maintainer, Dwayne Anderson, equipment servicer, Thomas Gavel, equipment servicer, and Devin Jeffrey, equipment servicer. To protect and serve at Transit Police, we have joining Tiff Tammy Donahue as a transit ambassador. We have Nicholas Bates as transit police officer, and rejoining the organization is Brittany Williams as crisis intervention specialist. We're going to finalize 2024 December promotions, starting out with John McGurvey, electronics technician, Keith Bloom, electronics technician, Tishna Sloan, manager of claims, Nicholas Bigger, senior director, customer experience and performance management, and Eric Vukovic, manager of budget, and Angela Summers, paratransit reservations operator. Let's give them all a round of applause. Yeah. So as we talk about 2024, we've ended up with 534 total hires for the year. We have 84 people, operators in training. Our deficit is now at 45. We just recently, last week, had an all aboard, we call it our driving careers forward for bus operators, and we made up to 90 contingent job offers for that. So we're going to roll into January with a nice, robust pipeline. And I appreciate it.
Do you recall by chance what the deficit of operators were at the beginning of the year, roughly?
At the beginning of the year, not roughly, but last year around this time, it was 157.
Wow.
And so we've gone down tremendously, and so we're kicking away at it.
Excellent news. Thank you so much for your work and your team's work.
My pleasure, our pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, item 15, an executive session has been requested. I'd like to make a motion for that executive session to review the negotiations concerning the compensation/terms and conditions of employment for GCRTA's union employees. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
Ms. Elder.
Yes.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
And Ms. Welch.
Yes.
You have 9 ayes and none opposed.
Great. I think we're going to adjourn to the back room, and if you could let me know who else you'd like in the session.
Sure, thank you. We will go back to
Yep, we're all good.
Okay, we are back, and I would like to make a motion to come out of executive session. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor Rice.
Great. Roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata,
Yes.
Ms. Elder,
Yes.
Mayor Kumar,
Yes.
Mr. Love,
Yes.
Ms. McPherson,
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti,
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss,
Yes.
and Ms. Welch.
Yes.
We have 9 ayes and none opposed.
Great. Item number 16, introduction of resolutions. Just as a reminder to the audience and the public, these have been vetted in committee session. Today's agenda is merely to vote on these resolutions. First we have is 2024-94.
Authorizing contract number 2024-100 with Burns Engineering Incorporated for Project 19.88 Engineering Services for light rail fiber optic design in an amount not to exceed $1,026,609.82. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Great, thank you very much. You've heard that resolution. Is there a motion to move that forward?
Motion Welch.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Do I have a roll call on this resolution, please?
Okay. Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
Ms. Elder.
Yes.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Abstain?
And Ms. Welch.
Yes.
You have 8 ayes and 1 abstention. It passes.
Great, thank you very much. Resolution 2024-95.
Authorizing contract number 2024-104 with Computer Aid Incorporated for robotic process automation software in an amount not to exceed $290,139.87.
Great, thank you
believe
very
that's
much.
right, for a 3-year period. General Fund, Management Information Services Department budget.
Great, thank you very much. You've heard that resolution. I'd like to make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, Love.
Is there any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-96.
Authorizing contract 2024-117 with Reworld Tron Corporation to provide hazardous and non-hazardous waste services in an amount not to exceed $746,640 for a period of 3 years, and amounts not to exceed $264,940 and $279,920 for each option year respectively, for a total 5-year contract amount not to exceed $1,291,500. General Fund, Safety Department budget.
Great, you heard that resolution. Is there a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
Elder.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-97.
Authorizing contract number 2024-121 with WSP USA Incorporated to provide additional engineering services for Project 23V4 Engineering Services for the reconstruction of Shaker Junction and Shaker Square grade crossings, and an amount not to exceed $155,044.25. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Okay, you've heard that resolution. I'll make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second? Second. Okay, any comments on that resolution? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-98.
Authorizing contract number 2024-151 with RGT Services LLC DBA, the Fowler Company, for East 55th Substation 11 rectifier transformer replacement in an amount not to exceed $697,320. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Hey, you've heard that resolution. Is there a motion to move that forward?
Motion Welch.
Is there a second?
Second, Pachetti.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-99.
Authorizing contract number 2024-169 with Lytix Incorporated to provide driver behavior performance monitoring system services in an amount not to exceed $184,352 per year for 5 years, for a total contract amount not to exceed $921,760. General Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Great. You've heard that resolution. I'm going to make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor Weiss.
Any comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-100.
Authorizing contract number 2024-177 with Westward Sales Incorporated to purchase external 7-1 antennas with cable sets in an amount not to exceed $76,435.80 for 60 units, and an option to purchase up to 60 additional units at an amount not to exceed $76,435.80 for a total contract amount not to exceed $152,871.60, RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
I'm going to make a motion to move that resolution forward. Is there a second?
Second, Welch.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2024-101.
Authorizing contract number 2024-178 with Hoover and Schooner Incorporated to provide Wi-Fi antennas, access points, cabling, and a 3-year support agreement in an amount not to exceed $149,290.50 for 30 units, and an option to purchase up to 30 additional Wi-Fi antennas, access points, cabling, and a 3-year support agreement in an amount not to exceed $149,290.50 for a total contract amount not to exceed $298,581. RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to move that forward?
So,
Motion, Welch.
second, Mayor Weiss.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. 2024-102.
Authorizing contract number 2024-181 with Mailer and Company Incorporated to provide 8 port network switches in an amount not to exceed $224,986.20 for 60 units, and an option to purchase up to 60 additional units in an amount not to exceed $149,986.20 for a total contract amount not to exceed $374,972.40. RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you for that. I'll make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, Love.
Thank you. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. 2024-103.
Authorizing contract number 2024-189 with TransPro Consulting to provide performance management services in an amount not to exceed $81,930 for a period of 1 year, and in an amount not to exceed $51,449 for 1 option year, for a total contract amount not to exceed $133,379. General Fund, Executive Department budget.
Thank you. Is there a motion to move that forward?
Motion, Welch.
Second, Pichetti.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Just
All
a
in
quick,
favor?
sorry, just a quick comment, not so much a question, but I just want to remind the board that this resolution is reflective of our efforts to be able to really bolster the customer experience and performance management area. You'll hear a little bit more in my presentation, but you will note that this contract has reduced dramatically in cost as compared to prior years, and there is a reason for that as we start to kind of regain control over some of our activities when it comes to metrics and databasing and also warehousing of our information. So just wanted to provide that information as well.
Thank you very much. I think there's a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. 2024-104.
Authorizing contract number 2024-190 with Fresh Works Incorporated to provide fresh service, enterprise service management solutions for a period of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $115,980. General Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, Elder.
Any comments from the board? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. 2024-105.
Authorizing contract number 2024-207 with Trapeze Software Group Incorporated, DBA Vontas, for computer-aided dispatch and automated vehicle locator, CAD AVL, equipment and services for rail car replacement owner furnished equipment in an amount not to exceed $704,079 for the base 30 car sets, and in amounts not to exceed $378,006 and $252,004 for two options up to an additional 18 car sets and 12 car sets respectively, for a total contract amount not to exceed $1,334,089. RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you very much. I'm going to make a motion to move that forward. Do I have a second?
Second, Mayor Rice.
Any comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2024-105 is passed. 2024-106.
Authorizing contract number 2024-208 with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for mobile radio communications equipment for railcar owner furnished equipment and services in an amount not to exceed $211,364.40 for the base 30 car sets, and amounts not to exceed $126,818.64 and $111,527.64 for two options up to an additional 18 car sets and 12 car sets respectively, for a total contract amount not to exceed $449,710.68. RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to move that resolution forward?
So moved, Mayor Rice.
Second Welch.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. 2024-107.
Making appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures for the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority during fiscal year 2025.
Thank you. I'm going to make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, McPherson.
Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just for clarification, as we move forward, could you provide perhaps just a little bit of additional background around how we intend to provide sustainability around revenue stabilization? Would just appreciate that clarification as we move forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Will do. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Yes, there was.
Yes, we had a motion and a second.
Thank you so much. Couldn't remember. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 107 passes. 2024-108.
Authorizing the purchase of property insurance from Liberty Mutual and Evanston Insurance Company through Aon Risk Services Northeast Incorporated for a period of 12 months for a total contract amount not to exceed $1,512,321. General Fund, Risk Management, Department budget.
Great. We had a good presentation on this, and I'm going to make a motion to move it forward.
Second, Elder.
Any comments from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 108 is passed. 2024-109.
First Amendment to lease agreement for construction access to the track and platform bridges over West 117th Street in an amount not to exceed $20,000. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Great. You've heard that resolution. Is there a motion for that?
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? All in favor?
Could I have a brief comment? I would just, it doesn't have to be now, but I'd love an update on the conversations between us and Norfolk Southern about that delay in getting this one started and the losses we took for it. It doesn't have to be now. It can be. Thanks.
Okay. We had motion second, right?
Yes, we had a motion and
Okay.
a second. Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 109 is passed. Last but not least, 2024-110. And this is approval of this Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, which is a hugely important document. And having gone through this for a few years on our committee, super important document. A lot of good work is done on this. Safety is of utmost importance. I'll let you introduce it now, even though I sort of did.
Okay. Approval of the authorities 2025 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, PTAS.
Great. I'm going to make a motion to move that forward. Is there a second?
Second, Sleesman.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. We're going to move on to item number 17, the Secretary Treasurer's Report. And today, Kay Satula, Director of Office of Management and Budget, is filling in for Raj, and will do a great job, as she always has in the past.
Good morning, President Kumar, members of the board. My name is Kay Satula. I'm the Director of the Office of Management and Budget, and today I will be presenting the Secretary Treasurer update. So the annual inflation rate rose to a high of 9.1% in 2022. As of the end of November, it is down to 2.7%. The Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, has reduced interest rates to 4.75% in November, and they are meeting today and tomorrow. So we'll get an update after that. Ridership through November is 22.9 million rides. That is 11.1% above 2023 levels. Passenger fares, year to date, we've collected $30.6 million. That's 22% above 2023 levels. November fare revenue was 43.4% above 2023, mainly due to timing issues with the student fare cards and UPass. Sales tax, we have not received December sales tax yet from the state. So November 2024 receipts are from August 2024 due to the 3-month lag. Keep in mind that in August we had the expanded sales tax holiday, so that affected 14 of the 23 categories were positive in November versus November 2023. So selected data from the report that you have. Average investment yield is 4.4%. After the December 1st principal payment, principal and interest, our outstanding debt went down from $30.3 million at the beginning of the year to $22.3 million. So we are doing very well at decreasing our debt. Any questions?
Any comments from the board? Any comments from management? Thank you so much. Next, we will have the general manager's report.
Thank you very much. No comments then, but I'll give you my comments now. We'll start out with going over the quarterly management report. I wanted to make sure that we shored up this presentation. If you recall, typically I would give this report last month, but we wanted to make sure that the document that you have in front of you, it should look something like this. This is my draft copy. There we go. Is representative of the quarterly management report that goes over the finances. So I will be presenting in short order on the third quarter of 2024. We always present a quarter in arrears. And really, you hearing from Kay really shores up a lot of the information on where we currently stand, so this is a recap. Being able to go through this at a pretty high level, you'll see that the total revenues are nearly 3% higher than budget. And again, this is for third quarter. So remember the information that you heard from Ida when it comes from the hiring, when it comes from our services going out there, and also how much we spend on fuel has an impact on the numbers that you see today. Passenger fares are 18.3% higher, and again, this is quarter to quarter and year over year. And sales and use tax, We already went through that information through the Secretary Treasurer report. But I wanted to also make sure that we highlighted the fact that our $20.4 million transfer from our Revenue Stabilization Fund, I know that's come up quite a bit. We are dipping into that reserve to make sure that we can stay afloat, has been and will be transferred. We also have a $9.6 million that actually has been confirmed to be transferred in December, and you see that reflected here in the third quarter as well. We want to make sure that we complete that closeout by the end of the year, so we're giving you the most recent information as we have it. Also, operating expenses, personnel costs are nearly 5% higher than budget. When you get into payroll, taxes, and fringes, you also have a higher percentage. Again, we are in a very fiduciary stable point, but we want to make sure that we want to keep at that level of stability. So we are hiring for those positions that either have been previously approved or those positions that are essential in nature. That being said, we don't have yet autonomous drivers, autonomous vehicle operators. So we want to make sure that we can keep those essential folks, the folks that maintain the vehicles, the folks that drive the vehicles, at the forefront of our mission for hiring. And any of other positions that we have that come into the fray in 2025 specifically, we will have a special review of those positions and need according to division. Also, purchase transportation, I always want to make sure that we circle back to that. That's our paratransit. So if you think about our paratransit district, which is housed basically downtown in Cleveland, we still are at about a 50-50 split when it comes to what we handle in-house for that service versus what we have for the external third-party vendors, and that is reflected in that purchase transportation. We have 3 vendors that we do business with to make sure that we can handle the other 50% of those demand trips. And our rule, by and large, is that we do not say no unless we absolutely have to, and we work through the demand. It has been a reflection of our rapidly aging population in Cleveland and both Ohio. So it's a good problem to have, but we're continually working through that. So you see that number nearly 47% at the bottom of the screen. Also, the general fund, as we go through the transfers, wanted to also make sure that you're aware of where we stand. If you look within your report on page 7, there's a board policy goals. There's a chart at the bottom which reminds you of where we stand as far as being in the green, so to speak. Operating expenses is the only area that we are in the red. There's a 25% goal created by the board to make sure that our operating ratio is handled in a manner that is sustainable. So we're working toward that. Everything else we have hit our target. Going back to the reserve funds, we have a $10 million commitment that we have on an annual basis. We have hit that commitment. We also are looking at the out years. I'm looking at Kay as I say this to make sure that we are still accurate. We will be reviewing that. That is getting harder and harder for us to be able to actually commit to on an annual basis without dipping into other reserves. At some point, we will be coming to you with a reduction in that, but we want to make sure that that commitment stays intact, especially while we're in the middle of procuring the remainder of the rail cars in order to get to that 60 golden number to complete the rail car replacement. If you recall, you just approved 18 cars to get us more than half of the way through. So at some point, we will probably reduce that number down to 5 as the project starts to wane, but we will have that commitment stayed through the remainder of the foreseeable future until we get to that complete replacement. And then from that point, we'll determine what that $5 or $10 million goes toward to make sure that we can do the same thing with some of our major projects coming up for replacement. Also, the 27th pay, you see that every now and then, that is intact as well with nearly $900,000. Information here is just purely informational for you to understand the millions of dollars that are being transferred to capital, including bond retirement, capital improvement, and then all of the other transfers will be completed by year end. Remember, we are looking at quarter 3. This is the last slide for this particular effort. We always want to make sure that you kind of can see it at a glance. This is where our money is going. So if you look at the rail car replacement program, $12.9 million in quarter 3, and you can see the buckets of where that funding is coming from. Federal assistance really tops the charts as you see that blue and red bars on the graph here. Facilities improvement is a closer second as we start to think about how we can also rehab the facilities that we have and make it more amenable to the customers and make a more pleasant waiting environment as well as our internal folks. Rail projects, just to support the overall replacement program, also comes in at third at $2.9 million. Okay, moving from that, just wanted to be able to reiterate the PTAS for the safety plan. I believe that was the second to last or last resolution that you approved. This is myself along with Clarence King, who is the current ATU president. I want to make sure that I stress the fact that this project is one of the very few that have gotten all the way through to execution. At this point, we've had a lot of folks join that charge, but that was a charge by the Federal Transit Administration on all public transit authorities to make sure that we have a PTAS intact. It is not an easy feat to come to agreement and resolution on a lot of these metrics to make sure that our safety folks and personnel are in agreement in what success looks like. We have taken painstaking efforts to make sure that we can agree on this document on an annual basis, and I believe that we were in the top 10 as far as the first to be able to sign off about 2 years ago. And this is something that we have to bring in front of you on an annual basis, and we continually meet. This is not a one and done effort. We meet, I want to say, on a monthly basis, if I'm not mistaken, here in main office in the operations suite, to be able to go through what are some of the issues that we're seeing, how can we get better, and then it culminates in this document here. So I appreciate the leadership of the ATU and also making sure that we are constantly talking about how to get better. So this is reflected in this document here. Also, the holiday district visits, I call it my internal tour. This is completed, so all of the tours, I think there are 9 or 10 on that list there. I have hit every one of those districts. I do this annually. We do this annually. There's a lot of us from leadership that go to be able to really talk about some of the issues of the day. They've been very positive. By and large, the folks that are working out at, whether it's Central Bus Maintenance or Triscuit or Hayden or Rail, Paratransit, all of these folks are very communicative, and we've gotten to a place where I think it really becomes a mini town hall in order for me to talk about some of the things that they may not hear about because they don't work down here at main office. So I wanted to make sure that we have that bridge of communication. Union leadership is usually in the room as well. They are more than welcome to attend, and they also are part of those discussions. We talk about a lot of things. That being said, great conversations, and we look forward to doing this more every year. Also, wanted to be able to piggyback on a quick resolution that you just approved for TransPro. Reason that I had this contract in mind when I had that comment about our customer experience is because I'd like to be able to congratulate Nick Bigger. He's sitting back there, and I call it the Peanut Gallery. Nick Bigger is an internal hire. If you have seen his face, it's because he has spent the last 8 years as district director at Hayden, which is one of our workhorse garages, and I say that with appreciation and respect. Hayden puts out a lot of runs for our service and really gets the job done along with all of the other districts. Nick has the operational know-how and the experience and the relationships on both the union and the company side. If you recall, he is one of the, I'll call you the co-founder of our PIP program, which is basically our mentorship program for some of our operators and laborers, and it's kind of rolled out to a lot of the other districts. This position was posted internally and externally. There was a national search, that being, I wanted to make sure that we get the best of the best, and sometimes you have it right under your nose. So I appreciate this. Nick will be reporting directly to me. He just started, so he is brand new to the position, getting his feet wet and reintroducing himself to the team in this role. So appreciate you, Nick. If you had any comments, go ahead. Not sure if you do or not.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Terry, Mayor Kumar, members of the board. Yeah, just want to say I'm very excited. I think we have a tremendous opportunity in front of us. And I just want to share at the highest level, what we're trying to do really revolves around customer pain points, right? So we want to make sure that we identify them, develop a deep understanding of what they are, prioritize them, and then seek improvements. And we're really going to have 2 main approaches to do this. One is making sure that we listen to the voice of the customers. So we're lucky we have a very robust customer experience surveying process on a quarterly basis. So we get 1,600 survey responses across all 4 of our main transportation modes. We want to understand what our customers are telling us in terms of their levels of satisfaction of certain areas, but also what is important to them, and comparing satisfaction and importance to help us to prioritize our initiatives. and there's going to be a lot of walking the shoes of the customers, right? So seeing it, feeling it, so that we can really strive to make improvements. And I just want to share, as we look at this, our customer's journey, we're really going to be breaking it down into the unique but related aspects of the customer journey. So planning your trip, accessing transit, so getting to the transit center, the bus stop, the rail stop, waiting, so the waiting environments, paying for your trip, whether you're paying through Farebox, TVM, on the app, the ride itself, so riding on our vehicles, connecting to other vehicles or other modes, and then egressing from our system. So as we begin to go into this, that's going to be the guiding light in terms of our approach. And I just wanted to share that with the group. But again, very excited.
Thanks, Nick. We appreciate you for that. Also, as information, just so you know, these were previously discussed and approved positions. Nick will be onboarding at least 2 more people to his team. He will not be doing this alone. This is the beginning and the creating of a division to be able to be solely focused on the customer experience. So you'll see those folks coming on board as he starts to be able to interview for that. I believe he's working with HR now to come up with job descriptions as we try to figure out what that looks like. And so we look forward to building that department out. Thanks, Nick. Also, wanted to just give you a quick heads up. I did send a notification via email just to keep you apprised. We had on December 12th a GCRTA Media Day. It really was a media morning where we had an hour or two, about 2 hours, dedicated to educating the media on some of the major projects that you have heard and are intimately aware of already, but not everyone is tuned in and in this room with us. So we wanted to make sure that the media had that bird's eye view of some of the key projects that we're really excited about currently and coming forward in 2025. So they're listed there. Again, you've heard of all of these projects, so we wanted to make sure that we afforded the media the same opportunity. Bob Fleeg, who is here as well, really kind of co-hosted this along with Natoya Walker-Minor, who is here for our DGM group, to be able to think about how do we capture the attention of the new journalist. A lot of the questions that we get, whether it's post-event, post-accident, are usually someone who is brand new to the beat, so to speak. So we wanted to make sure that we got them up to speed all together. We also had a Q&A session. Yes, we asked them to ask us what they wanted during that session. I realized that might be a little bit of a risk, but I think it's worth taking, and we really had a great conversation. They asked very intuitive questions. You may see a couple of interviews and a couple of articles that came out of this session. I think was a very successful event. Bob, if you have any comments on that?
Yeah, we're still getting stories today. As a matter of fact, there were a couple of stories in Signal Cleveland and Cleveland Documenters. So we've had stories in theplaindealer.com. We've had it all 4 of the news stations, 3, 5, 8, and 19 did stories already. And again, Signal Cleveland did a story today. Idea Stream did an interview with India Post, and that's been on the air as well. So excellent coverage. We had people from Axios and Scene Magazine, and Mass Transit Magazine was there as well, a national publication. So good coverage on the coldest day in December.
Thanks, Bob. They did brave the elements, so we appreciate that. And great job to the team members as well. I think we're getting more comfortable in front of the mic. It should not be me speaking all the time. It has to be a team effort, and they did a really great job of making sure that we address. Some of the hard questions came up. The Browns came up, the finances came up, the rail car came up, a lot of different things, and I think we handled it with flair. So thank you, and nice job. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple quick notes under the President's report. In talking with management, there may be some rail car related issues on the January agendas. And so if you could just really block out 9 to really 11:30 for board meetings, so we have enough folks to vote, that would be appreciative. That may not materialize, but in the spirit of trying to give everybody a heads up, just wanted to put that on your radar. Also, Mayor Marie Gallo from Parma Heights was elected to the RTA. I think her board position will start in March. She will be replacing Mayor Biasiata, which I will sorely miss his input. You've always provided good insight and ask probing questions that really provide good information to the board and to the public. And we're going to miss you, Tony. But I know you can only juggle so many balls, and I know that we're really going to like working with Mayor Gallo. So we look forward to that transition. Also, I'm going to be working with the general manager on the conference schedule for 2025. I know Teresa has sent that to all of you. We're just trying to look at where there are priorities, committee chairs, what makes sense, and obviously I'll be soliciting your input as well. Given our board budget, local conferences are at the state. That's easier for us to do than national conferences. Just as a point of reference, I've sort of alternated national conferences every other year. So we're going to take a look at that budget, but we'll get your input in early January. We'll start having discussions on that so that if we do have folks attending, you can coordinate with that with your personal and work schedules for those conferences. That concludes my report. Any old business? Any new business? If not, item 22, the next regular board meeting is scheduled for January 21st, 2025 in the boardroom of the Authority Root McBride Building, 1240 West 6th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. This meeting will be live streamed on RTA's board page by clicking the meeting date. The public is welcome to attend in person. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.